Namaste, hello everyone. Welcome to Shalgulhati, Shiva and Mysticism for another episode of Monday with Mahadev. Today I'm going to share with you a thought that I had on seeing a commonplace notice that we find on mutual fund investments. As we know in the business world, mutual funds are ways of investing our money in order to try and get some interest or profit and make our money grow. But mutual funds, the companies always have a notice either right on top or at the bottom of a form which we are supposed to read and sign as acknowledgement of having understood their terms. And this notice boldly says mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. In the business world, this means that while the company that you invest in will endeavor to make your money grow, to get you interest, to get you profit, but it is still subject to market conditions. If for some reason the market conditions are not favorable, they may not be able to get you what you really wanted. In life, relationships are also a kind of great investment. All of life demands that we invest with a great faith. And this is something we have at least two examples of in Mahadev's story. The first one is when he was married to Sati and they were living very happily. There was an invite from Sati's father, the Raja Daksh, who did not particularly like Shiva. There was an invite for a yajna to which Shiva went, and a further problem took place there, and Shiva left, keeping his peace. After a few months, to spite him, Daksha held another yajna, a great congregation for the Vedas, an invocation of the Devtas and the celestial beings, and he called everyone that he could think of, but he did not invite Shiva and his own daughter Sati. Now, as the cosmic play plays out, the Muni Narada went and talked to Sati about this. And when Sati came to know that her father is having a great yajna, she wanted to go. And she approached Shiva and said, "We must both go to our father's yajna." And Shiva said, "Because we are not invited, we should not go." But Sati, being the daughter of Daksh, told Shiva that I do not need an invite to my father's home. And Shiva then, against his own wishes, allowed her to go. And that episode ended very badly because when Sati went to Daksha's home, Daksha greeted her not with nice things, but by saying that the vagabond's wife has arrived. The no-gooder's wife has arrived, and so on and so forth. And Sati felt so humiliated, so shocked, that she did a tapasya and combusted into fire. And that was a great sort of, not market risk, but a risk of life, which Shiva had invested in when he married Sati, that he will be with her in everything. And therefore, when she consumed her body, he lived on waiting for her eternally to be reborn, and so that they could be married again. This was the kind of trust he had in their mutual love and relationship. The other story we know, when the Samudra Manthan took place and all the Devatas, the celestial beings, and the Danavas, the not very celestial beings, the so-called rough people, they teamed up together to churn the ocean for some really good things, including Amrita, the immortal nectar. But the ocean, as a result of the law of cause and effect, got filled with venom instead of Amrita, the nectar, because the snake, which was being used as a churning rope, vomited his poison into the ocean as a result of that very arduous task. And we all know that none of the Devtas or the Danavas were willing to take even a sip of that venom, but the ocean said, if you want to get the Amrita, the nectar, you will have to take your portions of the venom. But when nobody came forward to do that, it was Mahadev who drank up everything. And because of that huge venom inside his body, he began to swoon, he began to sway, his eyes were closing up, so on and so forth. And it is Parvati who rushed forward and held his throat and did not allow the venom to go down. She was a co-partner in his investment of drinking the venom so that everybody could get the Amrita. And therefore, she revived him back to health, and he was once again Mahadev, there for everyone. So, in these two episodes, we clearly see that Shiva and Parvati have a fabulous amount of trust in their investment of togetherness and their investment for the world. Of course, I'm using the word investment, love and caring, and the welfare of all is not just an investment, it's just the word that modern companies use. The word here is something much more. It is trust, it is faith, it is love, it is kindness, it is caring, and all those beautiful, harmonious words that we know. So, the next time when we read these capitalist things for our business world, they are all right, they are right to know, but we must make the effort of understanding that what is here is everywhere. What we are doing here in our commercial transactions, trying to get a declaration, trying to make the person understand that the investment is subject to a risk. All of life is like that. All relationships are like that. They are subject to the vagaries of what happens in life itself. And we must always pass those tests. We must sign those documents. We must understand that this togetherness, this trust, this investment, this relationship is through thick and thin. And especially when it comes to our faith in God Himself. Sometimes we go through not very good times. We need to remember that our trust has to be solid, and that God, whom we have placed our trust in, will always see us through all this. I hope you like this little analogy. Join me again here next Monday, and I will be back with yet another Shiva wisdom for you. Om Namah Shivaya.